Part 2. Understanding the reasons why you may do what you do. These are just my experiences so far in life. I'm in no way, shape, and form some sort of expert or claiming to be some sort of guru, or I have all of the answers for everybody's problems, alright? To understand the reasons why you do what you do. For me in that situation, I had to take around 2 steps. First, I had to mentally and emotionally put myself in a place of humility, right? Where I had to be not just honest with myself, but I also had to be willing and open to whatever was coming next. Second, I had to analyze and make sure that the people that I had around me in my immediate circle were people of quality. Not just quality, but quality mind, quality spirit, quality heart, quality beings in depth. You know what I mean? And the reason for that isn't necessarily to be a judgmental person. It's not to do with anything like that. But at the end of the day, you have to be honest with yourself and understand the people that you did have around you before didn't necessarily get you far. Because where you currently are, you obviously understand you don't feel satisfied with. You want to get past. So naturally, in that case, for me, I realized I had to surround myself with higher mind beings or higher type beings, individuals, caliber individuals that were past my own excellence at the time. And when I was being open in the first step with myself, it was for that purpose, to be open in and around those types of individuals so that I may be worked and I may be yoked into a better version of myself in the near future moving forward. But it's not something that's just magical. It doesn't just happen. You have to put in your own work in every aspect of that. And so understanding why you do what you do, or why you may do the things that you do, deals with tapping into all of those things that you've already experienced, your entire life journey up until now. So I had a deeper understanding because of how vividly I can recall a lot of my past traumas and a lot of the things I dealt with as a preteen, teenager, and then as a young adult before I got to where I am today. And in a lot of that, I found that I lacked self-love and self-worth in a lot of ways and a lot of levels of my own personal life. How I would respond on autopilot, meaning prior to knowing or prior to digging into them this way mentally to break them down, on autopilot, I would just seek companionship on every front I could possibly look for. I never really wanted to be alone. It was more uncomfortable for me in the surface or above surface than it really ultimately was in real life, so to speak. Meaning that it wasn't as serious as I was really making it out to be. You know what I'm saying? Now, the reason I point that out about myself is because that took a toll for me in my professional life. It took a toll for me in my life with friends, my social life. It took a toll on me internally in my spiritual life. It took a toll on me in a lot of ways that at the time I wasn't mature enough to understand I was really being self-destructive over. And so getting to know all those things about me and really putting myself in an honest place where I actually have to do some work behind those actions, meaning not just accounting for them by admitting, but also taking steps as my current self moving forward to not repeat those same cycles. For a time, I had to be a little meticulous about my steps each and every day, set myself on a schedule, put myself to do things that I didn't like, and really discipline myself down for several hours at a time like a muscle. And when I started to really compare it to going to the gym, it became one and the same to me. Pouring into my actions became me going to the gym as a way of me anchoring myself when a lot of my life that I felt I had no control over was really starting to hit. And there would be moments, life happens like that. It's an up and down kind of a roller coaster. So you'll have good and bad days in that way. But the gym is where I found that solace for myself. And I began to build that structure where I saw a lot of improvement over a period of time, with a lot of that frustration as fuel. But that's not even where it ends. It continues. You got to keep doing the work when you're not in places like the gym where you get distractions that you can put, a lot of productivity into, or a lot of structured attention to. Making sense of those things in a real world sense, in like a way where I had to understand, what is that really doing for me? To do and exert myself in those negative ways, what is that really doing for me right now? It's not making anything go away. Everything is still here. It's still gonna keep happening. So my condition kept worsening within myself. Food, speaking of which, was a huge factor. How I felt played a big role in what I was consuming, and what I consumed played a big role in what I was exerting, what I was giving out. My energy, the way that I was feeling within myself. So understanding why you do the things that you do, or why you may, really boils down to being honest with yourself and where your life has taken you, not just bigging yourself up or giving yourself an excuse or an out about things that can honestly be talked about in a serious sense, where you may just brush them off and say it really wasn't that big of a deal. But if you really look back and you sit and you truly analyze where you're at, you have to understand, you have to know that it is a big deal. It doesn't look like it in the sense of like the impact, but if you look at it in whole view, big picture type stuff, you'll understand it plays a bigger role over time than what you initially were prepared for or understood. So be honest with yourself. Understand the reasons behind your why, meaning your actions, yourself, your reactions, the way you may be in conversations or in your relationship or in your workspace or in any number of places that you honestly may think of. Really, really understand what triggers you in those types of places, times, and things. All of those aspects matter. And third, love yourself enough to give yourself life, man. Meaning, love yourself enough to be honest so that you can open yourself up to life, to the real. Because it seems scary because you're so comfortable where you might be. It seems scary because you've never been over that fence or over that hill. Because, again, what you have and where you've gotten to and what you do is the culmination of everything, obviously, that you've survived. It's just logical to you as a survival instinct to keep it going the way you do, but you can't. In order to continue growing, it's a matter of letting go out of faith in yourself, in your God, and in your true goals and things that you know are for you moving forward in the future. You have to have that foresight, and you have to have that faith. But then ultimately, you have to have that ability, that humility to open up and give yourself life, give yourself love. It's not as bad as it seems, only because you've been so used to where you're actually at and where you've been. Salute. If you like the merch, go check that out in the description. Appreciate y'all's time, man. Y'all have a good day.